Operation Sleigh Storm. In the North Pole, there's a secret that very few people know about. Beyond the toy workshops and cookie factories, past the reindeer stables and gingerbread houses, lies the North Pole Task Force, an elite unit of elves commissioned by Santa himself to carry out the most dangerous, impossible, and covert missions. They weren't just toy makers or gift wrappers. They were the Candy Cane Commandos, and they were responsible for protecting the magic of Christmas. Jasper Jingleton, a young, bright-eyed elf, had always dreamed of being part of the Candy Cane Commandos. Every year, he watched in awe as they suited up for missions, their candy-striped uniforms a symbol of bravery and honor. But Jasper was still too young, too inexperienced. He was assigned to the workshop, making wind-up toy soldiers and wishing he could be out in the field with his heroes. That is, until one cold December morning, when everything changed. The elves were preparing for Christmas Eve when a distress call came from the outermost perimeter of the North Pole. Kris Kringle's crystal, a magical crystal that powered Santa's sleigh, had gone missing, stolen by the Blizzard Bandits, a group of rogue ice goblins who had long sought to ruin Christmas. Without the crystal, Santa's sleigh wouldn't fly, and Christmas would be canceled for children all over the world. Santa knew this was a job for the Candy Cane Commandos. The team was led by the legendary commander Holly Frost, an elf whose courage and strategic mind were unmatched. Holly had led dozens of successful missions, and she wasn't about to let this one fail. But even she knew that retrieving the crystal from the goblins' icy fortress would be their most dangerous mission yet. For the first time ever, Santa allowed an apprentice to join the mission, Jasper Jingleton. He had seen the young elf's determination and spirit, and although Jasper wasn't fully trained, Santa believed in him. "Don't let us down, kid," Holly said, her voice stern but kind. Jasper's heart raced with excitement and fear. The team set out immediately, navigating through a treacherous snowstorm that howled around them like 1,000 angry wolves. The further they traveled, the colder it got. The snow whipped against their faces, the frost biting at their fingers, but the Candy Cane Commandos didn't waver. They were used to tough conditions. Jasper stayed close to the team, doing his best to keep up, but the storm was brutal. Just as they neared the goblins' fortress, disaster struck. A sudden avalanche roared down the mountainside, burying half the team under a mountain of snow and ice. Panic set in as the elves struggled to free themselves, but it was Commander Holly who acted first. "Get out of here!" she shouted, her voice muffled by the roaring storm. "Save yourselves! Save Christmas!" Holly managed to push Jasper out of harm's way, just as another wave of snow came crashing down. She was caught beneath the avalanche, and though she tried to fight her way out, it was clear that she wouldn't make it. "No!" Jasper cried, his heart breaking as he watched his hero disappear under the snow. But Holly's last words echoed in his mind. "Save Christmas." With the rest of the team injured and trapped, Jasper knew what he had to do. He grabbed Holly's map, which detailed the goblins' lair, and made his way toward the fortress, his heart pounding. The wind was fierce, the path treacherous, but he pushed forward. The weight of Christmas, of every child in the world, rested on his shoulders. He slipped through the goblins' defenses, using his small size to his advantage, and made it to the chamber where the crystal was being held. But the room was guarded by Frostbite, the leader of the Blizzard Bandits, a fearsome goblin with ice-blue skin and eyes like shards of glass. Jasper's hands trembled as he faced the towering goblin. He was just a toy maker. How could he defeat someone like Frostbite? But then he remembered Commander Holly and all the elves who were counting on him. He took a deep breath and with surprising speed, he darted past the goblin, grabbing the crystal from its icy pedestal. Frostbite howled in rage, his icy breath freezing the air around him. But Jasper was quick. Using the special peppermint grappling hook Holly had given him, he launched himself out of the fortress, the crystal safely in his hands. Jasper returned to the commandos, freed them from the snow, and with the crystal in tow, they raced back to the North Pole. Santa was waiting for them, his eyes filled with worry, but when he saw Jasper, the crystal glowing brightly in his hands, His face broke into a relieved smile. "You did it," Santa said, his voice filled with pride. But Jasper's heart was heavy. Commander Holly, she didn't make it. The North Pole fell silent as the news spread. Holly Frost had been a legend, a hero, and now she was gone. That night, Santa gathered all the elves together, and under the glow of the Christmas tree, he spoke to them. "Commander Holly Frost gave her life to save Christmas," he said, his voice steady but emotional. "Her bravery and sacrifice are why we can still bring joy to children all over the world. Holly didn't just save Christmas, she saved hope." Jasper felt tears prick his eyes as he listened. Holly had been his hero, and now she was a hero to the world. Santa declared that every Christmas Eve, they would light a special star on the tallest tree in the North Pole, a star for Holly Frost, so that no one would ever forget her sacrifice. As the elves looked up at the shining star, Jasper knew that while Holly was gone, her spirit lived on in every toy they made, every smile they delivered. And as for him, he was no longer just a toy maker. He was now a full-fledged member of the Candy Cane Commandos, ready for whatever impossible mission Santa had next. Because, after all, Christmas magic never truly fades.